boys better hold on because I'm going to have to stand on it.
Welcome back to High, Wide, and Handsome, a racing podcast here on the Arson Brothers Network. As always, I am Matt Klein, joined by my co-host, Michael Sizemore and Sean Allen.
What's going on, everybody?
And
not much, man.
We are
back on the old podcaster.
Yeah. A 2-week vacation for us.
That's right.
Because that's just how it happened. We took a long Easter break.
That's right. We've
earned it.
We took a break through all the local tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, we hit Bristol dirt pretty hard before the break, so it worked out good. But that gets us to where we are, and we are fresh off of NASCAR in Martinsville.
Yes, sir. That's my favorite track, Martinsville. I always look forward to seeing Martinsville come up, man. It almost never disappoints, I'll tell you.
It's a fun track. Yeah, I like Martinsville a lot too. We got our first 2-time winner. That's exciting.
That we did, and the big breakthrough win in the Xfinity series as well with Josh Berry. And that's where we'll start then with that Xfinity series. Pretty awesome to see Josh pull that off.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. It's exciting to see a guy like Josh Berry, who's just now getting his chance in the NASCAR series, doing pretty well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's good to see guys that's worked hard. You know what I mean? Worked his way up, finally get that chance. Dale Jr. on his interview or whatever was extremely emotional about it. Because I know he's had Josh in his stable for quite a while, and just, man, it was really cool stuff to see, man. Good to see good guys doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Dale Jr. said he cried for one of the first times anything in motorsports, which was pretty cool, and told you just how much that meant. And I know Josh was on the Dale Jr. download this week. I'm not finished with it, maybe halfway through, but really good interview and kind of hearing all there.
Y'all propping up the competition again all the time, but putting over our main competition.
Poor Dale Jr. needs that help, man.
Man, needs that high, wide, and handsome rub.
He probably lays awake at night hoping we just get off his heels.
But yeah, really cool to see. And Josh, honestly, at least the last part of the race dominated that race. It wasn't by any means a fluke win or anything. So
it's cool. I saw on Twitter that he's not going to be eligible for the playoffs because he's missed a couple of races. But I don't know if he's eligible for Rookie of the Year or not, which would be pretty cool because he's a little bit older than a lot of your rookies, and it'd be cool to see him win Rookie of the Year.
I think he's 30. I think he's 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which, is it bad I'm at a stage in my life where 30 seems young? Yeah.
I mean, he does have some rookie competition in Ty Gibbs that might surpass him a little bit.
That's what I was about to say. We have to speak on Ty Gibbs. Once again, showed up to Martinsville. I mean, ran incredible, brought it home third. I don't know. It's almost mind-boggling.
It's cool, man. We already decided he was created in a lab, so I mean,
dude, I think our theory was correct. It's crazy.
Our Martin Truex theory was completely off base, but our package was correct.
That's right.
Hey, you don't know. This may be it for Martin. This might be it. This might be the peak of the season right here.
Yeah, man. Ty Gibbs just continues to prove he's the truth.
Yeah, I thought he was crazy.
Very impressive, especially at Martinsville. I mean, I guess Barry and we had two guys their first time, but Barry a little different because he's ran so many late model races there, I feel like. But Ty just to show up and once again run great.
He's
I think
at this point, he's like a hired gun, man. He don't run
Yeah.
all the races,
Yeah.
but when he shows up, he delivers. It's crazy.
It
Uh-huh.
is.
I mean, you look at that car. I mean, when the other Ty drives that car, like he's averaging like down in the 30s. But then when Gibbs is behind the wheel, it's top 5 every time.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
I guess the only other driver who's driven it's Truex too, and he was the top 2 or 3, wasn't he?
Yeah, top 2, I think.
Yeah.
But crazy stuff. Cool to see. And then, of course, Wildman Noah Gragson brought home the $100,000 in the dash for cash bonus with his second place run.
Man, I had to check there at the end. Gregson and Ty Gibbs were running close to each other, and I had to look up and make sure Ty was 18 or not, because Noah may punch him after the race or something. You just never know. So I was like, is Noah going to jail if he gets into it with this guy? I guess he'd have been all right. 18, lower than
We give Noah a hard time, talk a lot of crap about him because he is a hothead, but I saw somewhere online, and I'm not sure if it's 100% true. So, I mean, if this is wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me when they watch this, but that he donated his dash for the cash winnings to his team.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty cool. I'll give the guy props for that. That's a pretty cool move.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man.
I like Noah all right. He's just got that young, hot temper that we see.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it develops over time.
Yeah, I mean, still something. I mean, I don't think the guy comes across as a bad dude at all. I just think he gets really worked up really fast.
Yeah.
I can't say much when I was that age. I wasn't much better. So I mean,
no, that's yeah, exactly. Shoot, I still get that way occasionally. But yeah, then we'll lead into the Cup race and Martin Truex Jr. bringing it home, but not really a dominating performance by any means from Truex.
No.
Kind of came on late, made the pass on his teammate, who Denny did run, again, not dominant. I don't think there was a dominant driver in Martinsville, but Denny ran good all day, especially on the early parts of runs.
Yeah, I would say Denny and Blaney were probably the 2 most dominant throughout the day.
Yeah, Blaney brought home both stage wins.
Yeah.
The second one being very close over Denny, but then fell back late.
Yeah, that run there at the end, if Blaney hadn't gotten the situation he did, I mean, he'd have probably had something for both of them at the end. Even I think he still bounced back to a pretty good finish on that last run, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. So I mean, he definitely had a very fast car on the long runs, and that was kind of the story of the day. Hamlin on the short runs, and Blaney in the longer later stages of runs.
It really was. Blaney come back to 11th after their penalty, which is from the tail end of the lead lap all the way. So I mean, they had a great run back up, and definitely had that penalty not happened. And the late race cautions, the constant, all the I mean, we saw a lot of cautions all day and some wrecks, but it got wild there that last bit, and it really changed the tone of the race too, as far as our comers and goers and stuff. But I mean, it comes with the territory, of course.
Yeah, Bowman, who had a really hot car all day, who, of course, he had some tire issues and had to pit and got pretty far back, but he was fighting his way back up and then out of the race after that huge wreck at the end there.
Man, but that was nuts. That looked like a Talladega pileup almost at Martinsville. That whole deal. That was crazy.
Man. The track just got blocked up and nowhere to go.
Guys getting T-boned.
Tempers were flaring. We saw Suarez checking some stuff at Byron there. They had got into it.
And Suarez's car just sitting there burning, him standing.
Yeah, and he was upset that the officials weren't there to put it out quicker. And frankly, I don't blame him. That was extreme. They let that burn a long time. I mean, I don't know the situation. I wasn't there, and not criticizing anyone because I don't know, all it takes to get there. But it did seem to go on for longer than it needed to.
Yeah, I know there were 2 cars on fire at the time. The hot sauce car.
Ryan Priest.
Yeah, Priest was also on fire at the time, so I don't know if that may have caused the delay in them getting to Suarez or what. But yeah, it was on fire for a bit.
Yeah, I feel like he was yelling like Richard Petty in '92. And I don't blame him, especially, I mean, a new team, all new cars and getting that's even anybody in that situation, but even more so with the track house situation. You don't need a the whole front end of a car to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
Sorensen
sure,
ran
man.
pretty well that day too. Isn't he? Yeah, he'd had a good day for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Trackhouse team continues to impress me, regardless of going up in flames this week. But they impress me, man. They really do.
Yeah, I feel like that team really doing everything they can to keep a competitive car out there every week.
Yeah, man, they're relative. I mean, especially for a new team, they're relatively fast every week. So I mean, you can't hate on it.
Nah, it's cool to see. And speaking of new teams, quick, we saw the 23 Bubba Wallace with some speed. They stayed out on that pit stop and got out in front and actually ended up leading like 20, 25 laps or so. I think about 20. But cool to see. End up falling back a bit. I think 16th on the finish, but ran in the top 10 most of that last stage with some caution results. So kind of good to see that team getting some performance.
Yeah, and Bubba's always ran pretty well at Martinsville. I think he won a couple truck races there, and I mean he's good at that track. So I mean, good for them, man. And it's good to see them, getting just a little better every week. It seems like, and heck, even earlier on in the season, that I mean, if just a few things had fallen their way just a little bit, they'd have a lot better results than they've had so far. So I mean,
yeah, I feel like for the most part, not every race, but for the most part, the speed's been there. They've just had some unfortunate and even some internal self-inflicted unfortunate, worth admitting, but also just circumstantial unfortunate more than not. So good to see them get at least some solid action up near the front for a bit.
Yeah. I know he was racing Denny hard there, racing the boss pretty hard for a minute. Up front. What more does paycheck thing like?
Nah. He said, MJ, I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
Yeah. Denny ain't writing his paycheck. So he ain't worried too much about that.
No. And speaking of MJ and that team spending money, it came out this week that they are looking at, which it came out like it was news, but we sort of knew this in January, if you remember, that they are already trying to acquire the permits and what have you for a new building that supposedly will host 2 to 3 teams, and the rumor is hoping to expand to at least one more team as early as next year.
Buy that Rick Ware charter. Now everybody's giving him crap.
Dude, Rick Ware Civil War is happening down at Rick Ware Racing. James Davison and Cody Ware stinking up the show, I'm sure, by NASCAR's regards at Martinsville this weekend, getting into it. And I don't know. They're the conspiratorial Reddit and all that's all over. The Cody Ware has possible brain damage and mental problems. I'm not going to get deep into it. One, I don't know deep into it, but also it feels pretty touchy. But you can look that up. There's some very interesting stuff. But regardless, him and his teammate James Davison were all into it at Martinsville.
Yeah,
I just saw on Reddit, because I haven't really looked much later in this week, but after the race, that Rick Ware Racing had liked a tweet talking crap about Cody.
Yes, I saw that.
Well, y'all know I have to get all my Reddit news from y'all because I have no idea what I'm doing. But sounds
the
fun.
old man there can't work the Reddit, but we take care of it. We keep him filled in.
Right.
Yeah, send me at the message on ICQ, will you?
Oh goodness, but yeah, that's an interesting situation. The general hope of the internet seems to be that this team finally disbands and sells those charters. Rick Ware Racing gets a lot of hate. I mean, it just is what it is. We won't get. We'll leave that one ride.
Is Michael Jordan going to be the charter collector? Is that going to be his gimmick?
I mean, I think that is very interesting to think about because the man's got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get a team out there that's going to put a competitive car on the track each week, as opposed to a Rick Ware car being on the track each week, I mean it's good for the sport at least.
Yeah.
It is. I like Rick Ware and his story, but they are certainly field fillers at this point to where, and the argument, I'm not against field fillers even, but the argument is We are in a more competitive era of NASCAR, which I agree.
Yeah.
And there are teams and other people who would want that charter that would put out competitive cars instead of that. And I do certainly get that argument.
You know, and that's something I know we got to move on, but that's something to think about too. Like now, when you look down the entry list every week, there really aren't as many quote unquote field fillers or start and park or whatever there used to be, man. I mean, there really are. There's a lot of cars that show up every week that have the potential to win. I mean,
yeah.
So the more the merrier. I mean,
and I think going with next year and the next generation car, at least in theory, and NASCAR's hope is that becomes even more prevalent with every team having, easier way to perform. So I don't know. I think we're going to see certainly over the next, we'll say 5 years, some charters begin to change hands and possibly the charter system go away. It wouldn't shock me either. There's a lot of controversy with it. And I myself, and I feel like most people don't really even fully understand it. And I don't think you're supposed to, even if I'm being honest.
Right. Like Trackhouse is running right now, but they're leasing a charter. So, I don't know how all that stuff works out.
I don't know either, man. It's a money racket for someone somewhere. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. I don't know the logistics, but
yeah.
Well, the exciting thing for me is in a couple of years we're going to have number 45 hitting the track. So there we go. It's the main thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could certainly see that. I saw a early mock-up of a number 32 with Ty Dillon driving, but that was just a guy on Insta that makes some designs. But I kind of don't see that.
Speaking of guys named Ties, can MJ get in there and throw enough money around to get that other tie?
Well, I
Talk
mean,
about drama.
The connections of the Gibbs are there. If Gibbs keeps all his seats full, that could certainly be a route for him to hot shot quickly to the Cup Series. Who knows?
Could be.
That'd be nuts. All right, but let's get out of Virginia and go. Oh wait, back to Virginia. Because we're in Richmond next weekend. But before we go there, I do want to touch on some other things. First, a bit of news from SRX, the Superstar Racing Experience. A huge announcement today, a matter of fact, as a day of recording, of course. They have announced their announce team for the upcoming season with CBS, and I think it's an excellent team. We got Lindsay Starziniak. I don't know if I'm saying their last name right. I'm going to be honest, but Alan Bestwick is back. Everyone rejoices.
Oh yeah, man. I popped hard when I saw that a little while ago, man. I did. I love some Alan.
Me too. Very excited. I feel like most fans have been wanting Alan back calling some form of motorsports for a long time. And hey, we're getting a touch of it. 6 races at least. Also, Brad Doherty is going to be a roaming analysis, which I think that's cool. I like Brad. Yeah. Matt Yoakum, your pit reporter. Yoakum always on point. Matt Yoakum, fantastic. Danica Patrick joining the team as a driver analysis. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
James Hinchcliffe and Dario Franchitti also driver analysis. So, I mean, they got the star power coming to CBS.
They do, man.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool announce team.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, even what's her name? I can't say her last name either. But Lindsay, I mean, she's a good host too. I mean, I remember she used to do stuff, and so everybody. And there's no weak links in that, really.
No, there's not. It's one of the. I mean, on paper, one of the finest groups of announced teams ever. Maybe, if we're being honest, overall, we'll see how it transitions, and obviously just 6 races. But speaking of SRX, they've been testing hard since they got those first cars built. They've been at, I don't even know, over the last couple of weeks, almost every track that's on their schedule testing with Ken Trader, who's oddly not in the series, but he's doing all their testing. But he just got that testing gig.
Hey, that's the most Ken Schrader thing ever, to be quite honest.
It's like, no, I don't want to run the series. I'll test them for you, Ray.
I kind of thought something similar when I saw Danica was on that commentary team. I was like, wow, I'm surprised they're not putting her in a car. But
yeah,
especially with her connection to.
And I guess worth noting, the full rules of the series hasn't been laid out. The early rumors were saying that would be those that have been announced, the main roster each week with a potential all-star or something of that car or two, and a potential I forget what they called it, but like local guy or two. So there could be additions each race. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But it wouldn't surprise me to see some other people coming in on board for single races at least. It'll be interesting. Sure. I'm looking forward to it very much. Also this weekend coming up, NHRA is back for the 4 wide nationals, coming to you from the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So if you like some drag racing, it's always fun in Vegas. They do it under the lights. They got that 4 wide track. It's a good one to peep into if nothing else. And the World Circuit F1 is back this weekend as well. They are in Italy at the Autodrome Enzo e Dino Ferrari.
Oh yeah,
I said that perfectly. You know I did.
Bet you they're gonna eat some killer pizza this week,
dude. Oh man, the Italian food will be rolling. Those boys get fancy.
I love some Italian.
But that should be cool. Check in on that, and then outside of NASCAR, honestly, the most hype for this upcoming weekend is the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama coming at the famed Barber Motorsports, the first IndyCar race of the season, and the debut of the rookie Jimmy Johnson.
Man, I think I sent you guys a message the other night. I was watching, had something on the background. I was doing homework, and I heard an IndyCar commercial, and man, I mean, yeah, I get it. But it's like they don't have another driver because the whole thing was about Jimmy Johnson. I mean, the whole commercial.
They're hyping 07-time hard, which I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Yeah. I mean, that's how you're going to draw. I think it's great for everything because that's how you're going to draw some NASCAR guys over and finally get that. And with hopes still of having a companion race for maybe even more than one here the next few years. So I hope that that all becomes a better circle than it has been. There's no real competition there. I mean, I guess somewhat in TV ratings, but it could be worked out and help NASCAR and IndyCar. And I think we're going to see that over the next 5 years.
For sure. Not a bad thing in that gig, honestly.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. But I'm looking forward to IndyCar's return. I'm going to be honest about it. I got pretty into the season last year, which we saw Scott Dixon just absolutely dominate. But I kind of don't feel like that's going to be the case this year. We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. Then, all right, back to the old Commonwealth. Let's make Size happy. We're going to Richmond this weekend, not under the lights. I remember when both races at Richmond were under the lights. Now we're doing a old school kind of daytime Sunday Richmond, which I'm fine with that too. But I mean, you gotta like some night racing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. When I hear Richmond, I think night race. Ever since they made this change, I'm always confused about when the race is. I mean, it's
It just seems like it just because in the heart of air from they came back there in like the mid 90s, later 90s, up until very recently. It's always both races. You knew it was Richmond, you knew it was a night race, but so I feel.
I wonder if that has something to do with Martinsville adding the lights because for a long time Martinsville didn't have lights, so definitely always had a day race there, and then you can do the night race at Richmond now. Yeah, Martinsville got a little bit of the night race action.
I could see that, just changing it up, and with it all really revolves around TV deals and whatnot, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But the truckers are back. They were absent at Martinsville. Xfinity will be absent at Richmond, but Truck Series will be back. Always a good time with trucks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say call me an old man, but you already have on this episode. So I'll just say that it weirds me out when there's not trucks at Martinsville, man. I was used to that too.
Yeah.
It just
I know. We didn't see Xfinity at Martinsville for a long time. I'm glad they finally went that route, but I guess they put the trucks to the fall. at Martinsville, kind of doing. There's some big gaps in that Truck Series schedule. It's interesting.
There are, for sure.
And then, of course, the big show, Toyota Owners 400, coming up at Richmond. That puts Martin Truex on the pole. I saw today by the mysterious algorithm.
That's another thing I don't understand. Like, I don't know which tracks they actually are going to race for the pole, like do qualifying, and which tracks they're going to just stick somebody on there.
There's very few that they're qualifying this year.
Yeah.
I don't know the list, but there's like 7, maybe 11, something like that.
You know, I just don't know how they decided who gets a qualifying and who gets just some computer number cruncher telling them who's going to be on the pole.
Like, just how do you choose what tracks get what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. And, well, worth noting along those lines, on this week's Fan Council survey, there was a lot of detailed questions about how you feel about watching on TV and at the track practice, qualifying sessions, and things like that. So I feel like they're really trying probably to decide now what to do next year on that route. And I know team owners, and it seems to be mixed in the drivers, but team owners like it like this because they're spending less money.
Yeah.
They just show up and race. I know drivers are kind of a mixed bag. Fans are also kind of a mixed bag. So I felt like with that Fan Council survey going so deep into that, they're probably at the point of like, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, I like it just because, you know, as someone who lives real close to a track, you know, growing up, if you couldn't get tickets to see, like, you know, the actual cup race, you know, you could always go out and watch practice and qualifying and, you know, maybe get to see your favorite driver out there for like $20 instead of, you know, a $100 cup ticket. So I think that's a cool thing about it. It's kind of why I hope they keep it, just because it gives regional people around the tracks a chance to go out and see some of their favorite drivers without having to, you know, shell out the big bucks for a cup ticket if they can't afford it.
Yeah, I mean, I see it both ways. I mean, I definitely see that. I miss aspects of it for sure because I mean, I like watching, you know, which I mean, again, we're probably a little more hardcore than the average fan, but I mean, I like watching qualifying and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I do like sort of the mixed bag it's gave us on race day. You know what I mean? Because you truly don't know a lot of the time who's. I mean, last time when somebody dominates qualifying, they dominate, and you know this is going to be the guy on Sunday. But I do like the aspect of, you know, you show up and you don't know what anybody has and you just take off and see what happens. I do like that. I think it's made for some exciting racing, honestly, but, you know, I can see it both ways.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I like aspects of both. So maybe I'm on board with the certain races do it and certain races don't, kind of like we are this year, but maybe tweak that a bit. I don't know, because I like it. I certainly understand from like an owner point of view or any of that. And just in general, saving money in the sport is good because it allows smaller teams opportunity to get more competitive. But also, I do enjoy watching some practice sessions and certainly some qualifying. So I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the one to make the call because I don't know what the exact right answer is. We're getting low on our time, but that's all right. So I don't know. Going to be interesting going forward, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll touch on our fantasy, unfortunately.
Yeah, we
a
don't
bit,
talk
and
about
then
that.
we'll do some
Skip
predictions.
this and go straight to the picks and wrap it up and get out of here.
Oh my goodness! Well,
Oh, we ran Sean off. That's good.
Oh, I feel like he's coming back probably more than that. Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, now I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
The head of the table.
The head of the table.
Sean Allen has taken over.
Let's put up the picks, right? Is that where we are?
Well, the Sean Allen took over the fantasy, as you probably assumed, this past week.
It was a good day. Good day.
Congratulations, sir. That I guess that puts you with the first pick, the old Richmond International Raceway.
Well, you know, as I sit here at the head of the table, looking out over, you know, NASCAR land, I was, you know, not to the level of crunching the numbers the way Michael Sizemore Steiner does, but looking at the betting odds, looking at some different things. And the last time they were in Richmond, if I'm not mistaken, the winner was Brad Keselowski, who drives for Penske Racing. And we saw a lot of speed out of Penske, quite frankly, this year. But one guy has showed up and seems to have the most speed week in and week out. So from Penske, and so I'm going to pick not everybody talks about his dad, but I'm going to talk about the nephew of WVU alumnus Dale Blaney. WVU legacy, Ryan Blaney is going to take the win this week at Richmond. A WVU man winning in the Commonwealth. Now, that's how you do it right there.
The man drove a Virginia Tech car at one point. Like
what he drove.
He had an orange and maroon car that he drove around the track.
Blood. He's got that blood in his veins, buddy. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Oh, goodness. I like that pick, though. I like that pick. Blaney ran great at Martinsville. He should turn that around right into Richmond. Good run. I like it.
Well, Matt, you're the next up in the points in the fantasy there. So who you got?
Oh, man. Just looking at the stats, man, I got to go with it. That not only does he become the first 2-time winner, but next week he becomes the first 3-time winner this season because Martin Truex Jr. continues to absolutely pawn us and wins again at Richmond.
Well, Matt stole my pick.
Oh,
well, hold on. Hold on. Size is so far down. There are bound to be other people that can make picks in between here. Like there's somebody mowing the grass or something. Let me yell at somebody. Hey, you want to make a pick?
Man.
Don't call it a comeback. I'll be back on top soon. First time.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Truex was the only person that I've ever bet on FanDuel actually win. So just for the rest of the year, I'm going to bet on Truex because he's the only one. He's just proven us doing everything he can out of spite to prove us wrong from our first episode.
He is.
But with Matt taking Truex, I'll go with his teammate, a guy who so far this season hasn't had a lot of success, and last season didn't have a lot of success, but previously has had a lot of success and some success at Richmond. I'll go with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that was my. If you took Truex or someone took Truex for me, that was my pick was Kyle because I think the 18's gonna be real fast this weekend. Yeah. And the 11 for that matter. I think it's a very. All those Gibbs drivers are good at Richmond. That's just being honest. Yeah. Even Bell, I expect Bell to have a good run. He likes the short tracks.
Yeah, that 11's due for a win. I mean, he's ran at the front on almost every race and is yet to go to victory lane. So this, I don't know. I'm sticking with Busch, but I might secretly switch to the 11 on the fantasy pick.
Yeah, we still got to set some fantasy, but. Yeah, I mean, good picks. I'm looking forward to Richmond, though. Richmond's a fun track.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up as we're crunching our time. Anything before we go, gentlemen?
Really quick, don't forget Warehouse Clothing Company, Princeton, West Virginia. Get you some merch, get you some shirts, get you some cool stuff. If you're in the local area, stop by there. And while you're there, ask for Kendall and tell him he ain't at the head of the table. So be sure you do that.
That was anything for you?
No, I don't have anything to plug. I mean, can we just fire Sean? That's the only thing I got.
Okay. Well, all right. Thanks for watching Now Wide and Handsome here, Arson Brothers Network. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, get notified anytime we drop anything. We got weekly videos coming out, food videos, exploring videos, and of course, racing videos. Yeah, check it out. Check us out on social media, Arson Brothers Entertainment. And we'll be back for more High, Wide, and Handsome.